Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob, and we are doing the Nightmare Before Christmas Grinch kind of what is the more classic Christmas movie. Um, this was again something that I came up with. A couple of friends from my work are have this debate over which one is better, and at the time, my first instinct was to just say Nightmare Before Christmas, but I haven't seen either of these movies in a really long time. In fact, I mean, I don't even know if I'd ever seen The Grinch before, to be honest, because and not the Jim Carrey, but the original classic cartoon. I'm already calling it classic. Um, because I was raised in a very strict religious uh, family who wasn't into Christmas, so I really, when I think about it, I don't think I'd ever seen The Grinch before. I know I'd seen parts. I knew the story, so I think you kind of feel like you've seen it when you've heard about it for so long and you've seen images for so long. It kind of becomes, like, oh, that's the Grinch, and whatever. Nightmare Before Christmas, on the other hand, I was there when it came out. I went to see that when it came out. I had to like trick my family into letting me go see that when I was younger, um, because it was, again, it says Nightmare Before Christmas, and I had to lie and come up with, oh, it's not about Christmas. It's not about Christmas at all. It's just the title. And so I was able to go see that. And when I was a kid, I really liked Nightmare Before Christmas. For the most part, I think even back then there was part of me that was like, it's good, but there's something missing. But that just maybe goes into like what I like to do, and which is like review and kind of dissect movies and things. So the few people at work that were having this discussion, they told them I would make a video. I would watch both of them after all this time, and I guess The Grinch for the first time, and tell them, like, what do I think is the more classic Christmas movie. And I was not looking forward to it, because not because of my old religious beliefs, but just because I'm just not into Christmas. Um, Maybe because of my religious beliefs, I'm just kind of I'm over it. I don't celebrate really. So going to these and watching these movies is not second nature. So I found I wasn't gonna pay for these. um, I found Grinch on YouTube, and Nightmare was on Netflix. So I watched The Grinch, and I thought I was gonna hate it. Like, just the and it's not long. It's about 20 some odd minutes long, and I actually found myself, despite myself, um, liking it quite a bit, for what it is. Um, I really like Chuck Jones's animation style. I like that they had Boris Karloff. If that's right. If I'm thinking right, this is the guy who played the original Mummy way back in the day. So I really like the narration. I like that he was the voice slash narration of the Grinch. I mean, I guess you're supposed to think that it's the voice. He could have a different voice, whatever. I'm thinking too much about it. Um, some of the animation styles really reminded me of Chuck Jones's Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry's that he did, especially with the Grinch's facial expressions reminded me quite a bit sometimes of those classic cartoons. Um, I didn't hate the music, and when I had talked about Nightmare before, I said, oh, well, Nightmare's got all this imagination and going for it, and so, Grinch is kind of the Grinch. I was wrong. There's a lot of imagination that goes into this. And I should have thought about that beforehand, before making that, snap judgment call, because it is Dr. Seuss. Now, it is 1960s, and so the imagination level, you have to think, less contemporary, and so there was a lot, the creativity of Dr. Seuss and the weird things that he comes up with, and the gadgets and the names for the gadgets and things like that to make them rhyme and things. There is a lot of imagination going on here, and I wasn't like, even though I still don't know what the hell they were singing about at the beginning and the end of the movie. And the Grinch, the actual Grinch song is classic. That is classic. It's one of the Christmas songs that when we play Christmas music at work, I never get tired of the Grinch song because it's funny, um, and original. And so I was really surprised. Like they didn't. I think maybe because of the Grinch movie with Jim Carrey, that maybe I thought this was gonna suck. And I didn't hate the Grinch movie, but like looking back on it, it drags out the plot so long with the who's and the whys and everything, and telling the backstory of the Grinch and everything, because otherwise you don't have a movie, I guess. And I like that in this cartoon, you don't know. He's just a curmudgeon, and a heart too small, that kind of thing. Simple. You don't always have to know. And so that simplicity, and it was just, like, I was trying to watch it like, if I enjoyed Christmas, what would I think of this? And if you enjoy Christmas, this is a freaking really good Christmas uh, show. And it's only 20 minutes long, and it clips along good, but it still feels fleshed out enough. And just there's a lot of clever things that are happening, and with his dog and stuff like that, and the writing is pretty clever. Not all the time, but like for the most part. And it's a simple resolution, and it feels perfect. The length of this feels perfectly long. So, you know, since we're talking about one at a time, The Grinch, really surprised at how good it was. Do I ever need to see it again? No. Um, if somebody had it on, would I walk out of the room? Probably not. But I'm not. This is not, again, since I'm not into Christmas. You know, I'm glad I did finally see it all the way through. So that's how I feel about The Grinch. Now, Nightmare Before Christmas. Uh, while I was watching it, I couldn't look away for the most part, because even though I've seen this and I've seen this and I've seen this, I've seen this a lot over the course of the last, geez, 25 years or something like that. I think it came out in like 93, so like 20, yeah, we're getting close to like 24, 25 years. Um, so I kind of, I know this movie, but I wanted to make sure that I watched it all the way through, um, just to see everything about it, so I could talk about it in a more, intelligent way. I didn't want to miss anything. And on a technical level, this movie's a masterpiece. Like, it is gorgeous to look at. It is so interesting to look at. Everything is just very cool looking, very imaginative. And the work that went into making it is great. But and some of the songs, the beginning song, some of the songs are better than I remembered. But on a story and character standpoint, it's just not that good to me. I love the look of everyone. Jack Skellington looks great, but his whole motivations in this is just, I'm bored. Like, so I'm gonna, I get really sad, and I go on a walk, and I find a bunch of doors to a bunch of different holidays. This guy's been around forever, and he's never seen this place. He just kind of sleepily walks to it. I know this is just a fantasy kids movie, so suspension of disbelief and everything. Like way suspension of disbelief. Basically cartoon rules here. Anything can happen. So forget the fact that he's never been here before. forget the fact that Sally, when he starts making these plans, is suddenly, she's just a psychic. Starts having, she premonitions Jack's whole thing going wrong. Like, okay, she's a psychic. I guess that's, she has to be the voice of reason. We need to have a reason why she's the voice of reason. Oh, she's a psychic. Okay, fine, whatever. Um, I used to think this was a mean-spirited movie in a way, like the way that the characters are, but really it's not. They're all like innocent as far as their world is. Like, if anybody else looked in on certain worlds, you might think that they're all a bunch of weirdos. You know, whether it's Halloween, Easter, Christmas, whatever. These all they only know this one thing, and so when Jack tries to take over Christmas, of course the people that he's with in Halloween Town, they only know one thing. They didn't get to experience what he experienced when he went to Christmas Town and that whole feeling that took over. And I think that's part of the power of those different worlds, is that when you're there, it kind of takes you over. That feeling, like at the end when it snows and they finally start to get maybe a sense of what Jack felt. But at the same time, when Santa Claus was in Halloween Town, maybe because he's been kidnapped, he didn't get to experience what it would be like to be in Halloween Town, like the understanding of Halloween Town. Also, like they walk around and they're saying this is Halloween, but what do? Like, you see, it would have been nice to see what they do for Halloween. Like, you see Christmas. You see him go, when he takes over Christmas, he goes and takes over Christmas, and he delivers his crazy presents to the families around the world. At the beginning of this, it's just, they're just walking around going, this is Halloween. Like, what is Halloween then? What do you contribute that makes it you, the Pumpkin King? What do you contribute that makes you, this place Halloween? Like, just stomping around going, this is Halloween, doesn't make it Halloween. So, I would have liked to have seen, like, what they do to make Halloween Halloween. Seems really kind of important to the plot. This thing is only, like, not counting credits, like 70 minutes long. And I know because of how long and the work it takes to make this back then, I understand that a little bit, but they could have, it just feels like there's a lot of things missing in this. And I'm not impressed with the voice acting, like, of our two main characters, really. Oogie Boogie's plot, it just kind of like, why is it there? Like, I feel like you could lose the entire Oogie Boogie thing and flesh out the whole story of what happens when another person takes over a holiday. And they could have fleshed out more of Jack's motivations, because when he's so on board and he gets shot down, and then he's just like, oh, you know what? I guess I was wrong. And I just feel like that flip-flop, that quick flip-flop, that, now I can save everything. Like, it's just way too quick. Everything is, really clipping along. And so, I'm sitting here watching this, it's really just, I have major problems with this movie. Like I said, on a technical standpoint, and some of the songs and the imagination is really good. And one thing I noticed, like, right away while I was watching Grinch was that there's a lot of similarities between Jack and the Grinch. If you think about, like, one is stealing Christmas and one is hijacking it. And, their motivations are not, like, Grinch doesn't understand Christmas at first, and really neither does Jack. So I thought that it's a very interesting, like, I don't know if the people that at work that, were having this debate thought about it, but there's a lot of kind of close similarities to the two. But I am going to wrap this up, because I have to say, like, better Christmas movie in Nightmare has the benefit of being a sort of full-length movie. It's got to be The Grinch. because I feel like technically, on a technical standpoint, the, the Nightmare Before Christmas is of course a better movie. On an actual technical level because of what it is. Grinch is a 1960s, basically extra long cartoon, like Bugs Bunny cartoon, with a different character used this time called the Grinch. Um, but what the Grinch lacks in length, it does so perfectly encapsulate Christmas time. And the Great Nightmare is a Halloween story that is takes it's really kind of like a I don't know finding yourself or something along those lines movie. It that just happens to be in a world of the holidays. So, and even though some of the songs are better in Nightmare because they have more time to put more songs out. But in the end, the impact that Grinch left on me in that short period of time was way more than The Nightmare Before Christmas was. And maybe it's because I've seen it so many times, but I just wanted it to be over. Like, I got through it. I kind of felt like I was Mystery Science Theater in this. Like, if I needed, like, Mike and the Bots to come up and start joking about the movie to get me through it better. So, sorry, Tony. Uh, uh, After doing a careful watch of this, which was difficult at times, The Grinch is the more classic Christmas movie, and I don't even know if you can really call Nightmare a Christmas movie at all, except that it takes place at times in Christmas. It's like calling Die Hard a Christmas movie. There's a lot of Christmas elements in it, but it's still a movie about a guy in a tower. It takes place in Christmas. So, which I watched before I did. I watched Die Hard before I watched either of these, just to put a smile on my face, so I'd be like ready. Like I watched something for 2 hours that was really, really good, and then dove into this so that I could maybe have a little more patience with it. But by the end of Nightmare, I was really ready to like just pull my hair out at times. So anyway, that's my decision. I know it's just my opinion, so it doesn't really matter. But yes, in the end, the Grinch wins for better Christmas movie. Probably one of the best Christmas movies, or Christmas things, Christmas entertainment things. Films or shorts or whatever. Some people would say Christmas Story or A Miracle on 34th Street or It's a Wonderful Life, but that's an argument for another day. We were just arguing about these two, because they're kid friendly. And anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. We are, I think, currently at 33 subscribers, which I don't know who the 33rd was. Thank you very much. Let's got 2 more to go. Let's get to 35 before the end of the year. We've still got let's see, what's the calendar say here? We got just about 2 weeks before the end of the year. So let's get to 35, everybody. Comments, again, like I said, I'm going to be moving into a different spot, so tell me what you want me to review. I really want to know. I'm going to be doing, like I said, I got to go to work, but I'm going to be cranking out, series reviews of Punisher, and Mr. Robot and Walking Dead, just season reviews instead of trying to catch up on episodes I missed. And I gotta do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I have to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. before I can review it. And we'll see what goes on from there. I plan on starting to do comic book reviews and other things. So if there's anything you want me to review out there, just tell me in the comments. But let me know how I'm doing, and we will see you on the next video. Yeah, have a good one. Bye.